Welcome to Christ-Centered Home Education. This is our science class. We're going to open by showing a little clip by Dean Sessions. He's the author of our science book. I would encourage everyone to go find him on YouTube, find his website, order his curriculum. It will change the way you view science for the rest of your life. It is very Christ-centered in the way it is presented, and it is the curriculum that we use for this class.
Welcome. My name is Dean Sessions, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're here to learn about nature and why we're such an important part of it. What a great opportunity it is to be with all of you. I just want to give you a little bit of history about myself, and we're going to talk a little bit about today the overview of the Universal Model. I actually started teaching homeschool classes more than a decade ago. The Universal Model's been going for over 30 years. Since 1990, we've been researching all of the natural sciences. Our first textbook that we're going to be going over this year is called the Universal Model, or UM for short. It has a subtitle called A New Millennial Science. This volume 1 is the Earth system, and what this basically covers is everything about the Earth, meaning how it was created, why it's the way it is today, why are all the planets spheres and their moons. We're going to learn all about rocks. If you ever want to know something about rocks, that's what this class will teach you, is all about rocks, how to make rocks. We do things that geologists have never even dreamed of doing, and that's the exciting thing, is you all have an opportunity to learn things that no one else in the world even knows. Not even all the teachers in other classes at universities or high schools or elementary schools. You have a chance to learn things here that no other children in the world or adults are aware of. And that's the neat thing about the Universal Model. It's not just...
So, again, please go look up Dean Sessions and look up all of the resources that he has out there, because what he's put out and created as a curriculum for students is phenomenal. For lesson 1, we start out talking about questions. Answers come from questions. So if we're not asking questions, we're not going to be getting answers. We're going to talk about types of questions. We're going to talk about questioning everything with an open mind. Who, what, where, when, why, and how questions, and which ones give us better information, and the 3 laws of learning. It's amazing what ordinary people can do if they set out without preconceived notions. This is a quote by Charles F. Kettering. I love this quote because it goes great with our lesson 1 about having an open mind, asking questions in an objective way without thinking we already know the answer. Different types of questioning. We have critical, skeptical, partial, and objective. If we question critically, we're inclined to find fault, or in other words, we're critical in our approach. If we question skeptically, we employ a doubting attitude. If we question partially, we are prejudiced in our approach, leading us to partial blindness toward the answers. However, if we question objectively, we lessen the influence of our personal feelings and prejudices. We remove as best we can our personal biases. We should govern all of our questioning with this objective principle. If we're out looking for truth and we want to find answers that are true, we need to be willing to look and not stop the answer that's true from coming because we think we know better. Truth will be the same every time, so questioning it won't change it. If questioning it changes it, then it isn't true. So don't be afraid of asking questions. Often, correct principles are like icebergs. Their meaning can often be far below the surface. If you don't ask the question and look, you're never going to find the answer. So now we're going to talk about the learning process. These who, what, where, when questions would be our knowledge-based questions. These are going to deal with the characteristics of physical or material things. What, where, and who describe a tangible object, a place, or a person. When classifies the physical attribute of time. Knowledge then provides understanding by describing material or physical objects. So these are questions that will give us knowledge. Knowledge is not wisdom. So knowledge-based questions will not give us the best information we could ask for, but they will give us some. Let's take cookies for an example. Who? Who made the cookies? Molly. What? What cookies did you make? Chocolate chip. Where? Where did you make cookies? In the kitchen. When? When did you make cookies? This morning. These questions did give us some answers. We do understand that Molly made cookies with chocolate chips in them. She made them in the kitchen and they're fresh. They were made this morning. We do not, however, understand anything about the process. We don't know the ingredients. We don't know how these cookies were made, and we don't know why. So we really don't have the information we were looking for. Wisdom-based questions, those will give us that deep understanding and that deep comprehension that we're looking for. Wisdom is less about materialistic nature. It answers how and why, explain rather than describe an event or an object. We can comprehend answers to wisdom questions rather than understand them. So when we ask, how did you make the cookies? Well, then we'll get a recipe and we'll understand everything that went into the cookies, every step of the process, what temperature they were baked at, on what were they baked, for how long. And then we not only know what these cookies are, but we have the tools to then recreate this. We have wisdom, we have understanding, knowledge, and comprehension. Why were the cookies made? Why helps us with what are the reasons behind it? Why would someone make cookies? Well, if you click on the link, it would talk about all of the different AI-generated reasons why people make cookies. There's emotional reasons. There's physical reasons. There is, I made cookies because I was hungry. I made cookies because I was sad and I'm an emotional eater. I made cookies because I love the texture. I really wanted something sweet. I really wanted something crunchy. I made them because I'm going to a party and I needed to bring something. There's social aspects to making these cookies. Wow. How and why questions give us so much more information. We now understand the how it was done, why it was done, and now we can even recreate the process ourselves. This should be very important when we're talking about science. Science is all about being able to know how and why it was done. How was it made and why? And if we understand how it was made and why, we can often recreate that in a laboratory and see the process for ourselves. If we can't, we might need to go back and get some better answers. The law of knowledge, it states that knowledge and therefore understanding increase when we correctly answer the questions who, what, where, and when. The law of wisdom states wisdom and therefore comprehension increases when we correctly answer the questions how and why. And the law of intelligence, that's a combination of knowledge and wisdom. We need both to increase our intelligence. The law of intelligence states, when descriptions and explanations are correct, a true understanding of knowledge and comprehension of wisdom increases intelligence. And that's why we're here. God sent us here to increase our intelligence. So we should not only be going after knowledge. We need to have wisdom. We need to know how and why. How and why it was made, how and why we go about recreating that process within ourselves. For this project, for this lesson, the students created some anchor charts. I love anchor charts for my classroom, but I don't have the students create anchor charts for just anything. These should be things that we're going to refer to throughout the year over and over and over again. And so now in lesson 1 is probably the best time to be putting some anchor charts up on the wall. We are going to be referring to types of questions, how to question, and this learning process all throughout the year. These were created by 3 different students. I had let them choose which one they wanted to create, and then they were able to go through the processing of information, understanding of creating the chart and putting it in writing and discussing this with others. Next time we're going to be talking about truth. Hope you can join us. What is truth? Where do we find it? How do we know it's true? Thank you. Join us next time.